Does the sound of the school bus sometimes send a ripple of anxiety through you? Or maybe the simple act of getting shoes on in the morning feels less like a routine and more like bracing yourself for a storm. Perhaps you see the tears welling up, hear the pleading, "I can't go," or witness a sudden stomach ache that miraculously vanishes by 9:30 a.m. if staying home becomes an option. If your mornings, or even your thoughts throughout the day, are consumed by the worry and frustration of a child who is struggling, really struggling, with going to school because they're feeling a deep sense of fear or anxiety, then you are not alone. Not by a long shot. This isn't just about a child not wanting to go to school because they'd rather play video games or sleep in, though it can sometimes look like that on the surface. This is about a genuine, often overwhelming fear. It can manifest in so many ways: physical symptoms, intense emotional distress, clinging, refusing to get ready, or even full-blown panic. And as a parent witnessing this, it can feel absolutely heartbreaking, confusing, and frankly exhausting. You might feel guilty, wondering what you're doing wrong, or frustrated by the daily battle. You might worry endlessly about their education, their social life, their future. What we're talking about here is often referred to as school refusal, and it's a complex challenge rooted in anxiety. And the core of navigating it successfully, with both compassion and effectiveness, lies in understanding why it's happening and approaching it with patience, empathy, and a plan. Today, we're going to really lean into that. We're going to explore this difficult terrain together, not with clinical terms or harsh judgments, but with the understanding that comes from walking alongside each other. We'll look at some gentle, practical ways to try and understand what's going on beneath the surface, and how we can, step by step, help our children feel safer and more capable of facing the school day. We're going to talk about shifting from a place of battle to a place of connection and collaborative problem solving. And where do we even begin with something this big, this heavy? Well, I think the very first step, the foundation upon which everything else rests, is about shifting our own perspective and truly digging into the why behind the fear. So let's talk about that crucial first step, truly understanding the why. When our child is digging their heels in, crying or complaining of physical symptoms every school morning, it's incredibly easy, especially when we're stressed and running late, to see it as defiance, manipulation, or simply being difficult. Our own fear for their future, fear of judgment from others, fear that we're failing, can kick in, triggering frustration or anger. But what if we paused just for a moment and considered that beneath that resistance is a very real, very uncomfortable feeling? For many children experiencing school refusal, that feeling is fear or anxiety. School is not feeling like a safe or manageable place for them in that moment. It could be overwhelming academically, socially, sensorially, or they might be afraid of something specific happening there, or even afraid of leaving you. Think of it like this: if you were terrified of spiders and someone tried to force you into a room full of them, your reaction wouldn't be because you're lazy or trying to manipulate them. It would be pure, unadulterated fear. You might freeze, you might try to run, you might feel physically sick. For a child with school anxiety, school feels like that room full of spiders. Their resistance is a survival instinct kicking in. So the first practical, gentle approach is to become a compassionate detective. We need to try and uncover what the underlying fear or stressor might be. This isn't about interrogation. It's about observation and creating space for them to share, if and when they can. How do we do this? Well, it starts outside the heated morning moments. When things are calm, maybe at bedtime or during a quiet activity together, you can gently open the door. Phrases like, "I've noticed school has been feeling really hard for you lately," or "My job is to help you feel safe," and I want to understand what feels scary about school right now, can be a starting point. Avoid direct pressure or demanding answers. Sometimes, children don't even have the words to describe their anxiety. They just know school feels bad. So alongside talking, observe. When did this start? Was there a change around that time? A new teacher? A difficult assignment? A conflict with a friend? A transition at home? How do they seem after school? Are they relieved, exhausted, tearful, unusually quiet? What are their worries about? Listen to snippets of conversations. Pay attention to their play. Is there a recurring theme? It's also absolutely essential to rule out any physical issues. That recurring stomachache could be anxiety, but it's always wise to check with their pediatrician to ensure there's nothing medical going on. A doctor can also be a great resource for discussing anxiety itself. Let me give you an example. I knew a family whose daughter suddenly started having meltdowns every morning about school. They were baffled. She'd always loved school. They tried talking, consequences, everything. But nothing worked. When they finally had a quiet moment, and the mother just sat with her daughter without pushing, the little girl tearfully confessed she was terrified of the loud flushing sound of the automatic toilets in the school bathroom. It sounds small to us, but to her, it was a source of genuine panic she'd been trying to avoid. Once they understood that, they could work with the school on finding a different bathroom she could use temporarily, and the fear gradually subsided. The point is, the why can be hidden, and it might not be what you expect. Dedicating yourself to gently uncovering that is step number 1. It shifts the dynamic from a power struggle to a partnership against the anxiety. Now, once we have a glimmer, or even if we don't yet, but we suspect fear is at play, the next crucial piece is how we respond in those tough moments. This brings us to our second key approach: validating their feelings while staying calm and maintaining a supportive stance towards school attendance. This is probably one of the most challenging parts for parents. It's counterintuitive. Every fiber of your being might want to fix it, make the fear go away, or perhaps even give in to make the immediate distress stop. But giving in to the avoidance, while it provides temporary relief for everyone, actually reinforces the anxiety. It teaches the child that the thing they are afraid of is indeed too dangerous to face, and that avoiding it is the solution. So the trick, and it requires immense emotional strength from you, is to validate the feeling without validating the avoidance. You can say, with genuine warmth and empathy, "Oh, honey, I see you are feeling so scared right now. Your tummy's probably hurting because you're worried about school. That feels awful, doesn't it?" This shows them they're seen and heard. It communicates that their feelings are valid, even if the feelings are based on an irrational fear. What you avoid doing is saying things like, "See, you're too sick to go," or immediately switching to, "Okay, fine, you can stay home." Your calm presence is like an anchor in their storm of anxiety. If you panic, get angry, or become overly distressed yourself, it confirms to their anxious brain that there is something truly terrifying happening. Your calm demeanor, even when setting a firm boundary about going to school, communicates safety and confidence in their ability, with support, to cope. This doesn't mean being cold or dismissive. It means being the steady, reassuring presence they need. You are their safe harbor, but you are also the captain guiding the ship towards facing the challenge. So, after validating the feeling, you gently pivot back to the plan. I know it feels scary, and it's okay to feel scared, but we are still going to get ready for school. We will get through this together, one step at a time. Practically, this looks like having a consistent morning routine. Anxiety thrives on unpredictability. A predictable sequence of events. Wake up, get dressed, eat breakfast, brush teeth, pack bag, leave. Reduces decision points and potential triggers for negotiation or panic. Have everything ready the night before if possible. During the tough moments, keep your voice calm and steady. Avoid engaging in lengthy debates or arguments. Offer comfort, a hug, holding hands. While you are gently moving towards getting ready, let's just get your socks on, and we can talk about the scary feeling. Remember that example of the little girl afraid of the automatic toilets? While they worked on a long-term solution with the school, the parents' approach in the morning shifted. Instead of, "Stop being silly about the bathroom," it became, "Oh, sweetheart, I know the bathroom noise is really scary for you. It's okay to feel that fear. We are going to get dressed now, and we will talk to your teacher about it." This validated her fear without allowing her to stay home because of it, teaching her that while the fear was real, it was manageable, and they would find ways to cope. This balance is incredibly difficult, takes practice, and you won't get it right every time, and that's okay. Give yourself grace, building on understanding the why and responding calmly and validatingly. The third crucial piece is bringing in the support system outside your home. This is where our third key approach comes in, building a strong, collaborative bridge with the school. You are not in this alone, and the school can be your most important ally. Teachers, school counselors, school psychologists, and administrators often have experience with school anxiety and refusal. They see a different side of your child and have resources you might not know about. Reaching out to the school isn't about admitting failure or asking them to fix your child. It's about partnering to support the child. When you contact them, perhaps an email to the teacher asking for a brief call or requesting a meeting with the school counselor, approach it from a place of shared concern for the child's well-being and success. You can start by sharing what you've observed at home, the morning struggles, the physical symptoms, any potential underlying fears you've uncovered. Ask them what they observe at school. Do they see anxiety? Are there specific times or places during the school day that seem difficult for your child? Sometimes a child holds it together all day at school and melts down the moment they get home. This is just another manifestation of anxiety, not a sign they are fine. At school, sharing this is important. Collaborate on strategies. What can the school do to help your child feel safer or more comfortable? This could involve things like identifying a safe person the child can check in with upon arrival, a teacher, counselor, office staff. Having a designated safe space the child can go to for a few minutes if feeling overwhelmed, like the counselor's office or library. Adjustments in the classroom, seating closer to the teacher, breaking down large assignments, a signal the child can use with the teacher if they need a brief break or feel panicked. A plan for handling transitions that are particularly difficult. Sometimes, a temporary, modified schedule can be part of a gradual return plan, which we'll talk about next. Let me share another example. A boy I know developed severe anxiety about lunch and recess. The unstructured social times felt overwhelming. He started refusing school altogether. His parents worked with the school counselor. Their collaboration led to a plan where, for a while, he ate lunch in the counselor's office with one other student and spent part of recess helping the librarian. This wasn't a permanent fix, but a temporary accommodation that reduced the immediate overwhelming fear and allowed him to be at school while they worked on building his coping skills for social situations. Without the school's willingness to partner and be flexible, getting him back into the building would have been much harder. Open, calm, consistent communication with the school is vital. They are part of your support team. Now let's move to the fourth key piece, which is the practical path forward once you had some understanding, are managing the tough moments with calm empathy, and are collaborating with the school. This is about creating a gentle plan for returning to and coping with school, often involving small, manageable steps and problem solving with your child. Remember, avoidance feeds anxiety. The longer a child is away from school due to fear, the harder it becomes to return. The goal, unless there is a significant underlying issue being addressed, like severe bullying that requires removal, is usually a return to regular school attendance as soon as safely possible, but in a supported, gradual way if needed. This is where problem solving comes in, again, working with your child as much as possible. Once you have some idea of the specific fears, you can start to brainstorm solutions together. Okay, we know the bus feels really scary because it's noisy and crowded. What's one tiny thing we could try to make it a little less scary? This might lead to ideas like practicing walking the route to school if it's nearby, driving them to school for a while instead of the bus, meeting a friend at the bus stop, listening to music on the bus with headphones. The key is breaking down the overwhelming problem, going to school all day, into tiny, less frightening steps. If the fear is being in the classroom, maybe the first goal is just getting to the school parking lot, then getting out of the car, then walking to the front door, then walking into the office, then going to one favorite class. This is often called gradual exposure, and it's a therapeutic technique used to help people confront their fears in a controlled, step-by-step manner. It needs to be paced carefully, with lots of support and positive reinforcement for effort, not just success. Celebrate the small wins enthusiastically. You got your backpack on without a battle today? That's fantastic. You took a big step. Or you stayed in math class for the whole time, even though it felt hard. That shows so much courage. Focus on praising the courage and coping skills they are using, not just the outcome of being at school. Consistency is also paramount during this phase. Stick to the routine. Limit the fun alternatives at home on school days. If they are staying home due to anxiety, the day shouldn't feel like a reward or a fun day off. It should be a calm, low-key environment, perhaps focusing on schoolwork they are missing. This isn't a punishment. It's about ensuring that staying home isn't inadvertently reinforcing the avoidance behavior. Let me give you one more example. A teenager I know developed social anxiety, so severe he couldn't enter the bustling high school building. He stayed home for weeks. His parents, working with a therapist and the school counselor, created a step-by-step plan. It started with just driving to the school parking lot and sitting there for 10 minutes. The next day, he got out and walked to the front door before leaving. Then, he went into the office. Gradually, they built up to attending one class, then two, always with the safety net of knowing he could go to the counselor's office if it became too much. It was slow, there were setbacks, but by breaking it down and celebrating each tiny step forward, he eventually was able to attend full-time again. This process is rarely linear, so expect bumps and be ready to adjust the pace. Throughout all of this, uncovering the why, responding with calm validation, collaborating with school, and taking small steps, remember that your belief in your child's ability to get through this and your unwavering support, even when it's tough love about attending school, is their greatest resource. It's about building their confidence, equipping them with coping strategies, and showing them that they can face scary things and be okay. And a really important point I want to gently emphasize, sometimes, despite all your best efforts, you might need professional help. A child psychologist or therapist specializing in anxiety can provide targeted strategies, teach your child coping skills like relaxation techniques or cognitive behavioral strategies, and support you as parents. Don't see seeking professional help as a failure. See it as giving your child and yourself the best possible tools and support system to navigate this. It takes a village, and sometimes that village includes trained professionals. Navigating school refusal is, without a doubt, one of the most challenging paths a parent can walk with their child. It tests your patience, your resilience, and your deepest fears. There will be days when you feel utterly defeated, days when you question everything you're doing, and days when you just want to hide under the covers yourself. But remember this, in these moments of difficulty, you are also building something incredibly profound. You are teaching your child about facing fear, about the power of perseverance, about the safety of connection, and about their own capacity to overcome challenges. You are showing them, through your calm presence and unwavering support, that you are their secure base, no matter how stormy the waters get. This journey isn't about finding a magic button to make the fear disappear instantly. It's about slow, steady progress, sometimes one tiny step forward, followed by a stumble backward. It's about understanding, validating, collaborating, and gently, persistently, moving towards finding ways for your child to feel safe and capable in the world, including at school. It's a marathon, not a sprint, and your most powerful tool is your connection with your child, your empathy for their struggle, and your belief in their inner strength. You are doing important, difficult, and vital work by even seeking to understand this. You are showing up for your child in a way that requires immense courage from you. Keep putting one foot in front of the other. Keep seeking understanding. Keep offering that calm, steady presence. And remember to extend that same compassion and patience to yourself. You are navigating something really tough, and you are doing a remarkable job simply by trying, by learning, and by loving your child through it. If this conversation resonated with you, if you found even one small idea helpful, or if you just felt that sense of not being alone, perhaps you'd consider giving this video a thumbs up. And if you know another parent who might be struggling with similar challenges, sharing this video could make a real difference for them. And if you'd like to keep exploring these kinds of challenging, yet ultimately rewarding aspects of family life together, if you want to keep building that connection and finding compassionate ways to navigate the ups and downs, then I'd be honored if you'd consider subscribing to the Family Connection Hub. We're here to support each other on this journey of raising connected, resilient families. Thank you for spending this time with me. Keep holding space for your children, and keep trusting your capacity to navigate these challenges with love and strength. You've got this.